Hi, Maddie and Eli. Daddy here again. I hope you guys are still well and as happy as can be during this crazy time. Um, Today's vlog is a kind of continuation of the name dropping one I did the other day. I said it would take more than one. So today I'm going to start with a story from when I was at the Purcell School of Music, which is kind of specialist school for, and at the time it was very, very small. I think there was at most about 150 kids. And we were like considered the best of the best child musicians from all across the world. Anyway, we got into the finals of a TV competition. And so we all travelled up by coach, I think it was in 1991 or 1992, to appear on a show called A Song for Christmas, which was part of Pebble Mill. Now, you won't have heard of Pebble Mill, but at the time it was quite a well-known show, presented by Alan Titchmarsh and I think somebody else, but I'm not 100% sure about them. So I was still just a kid myself. Anyway, we all travelled up to perform this Christmas carol that had been written by one of our fellow pupils called Paulette Bailey, who I think now plays with one of the famous orchestras in Britain. And we get there, and we're I think it was quite late by that point. I think it was like 8 or 9 at night by the time we got there. And as is fairly usual with TV appearances, you record what you're going to sing, say that morning or the day before, as we were doing the night before. And when it's broadcast, you do sing along to your own recording, but that is played behind you so that if you make a mistake, the sound will still be fine. So we recorded our track that night. And we were quite shocked to discover that we would be appearing with the great tenor Jose Herrera. And of course, this was shortly after the Great Three Tenors concert, the original, in the Carcalla Baths in Rome, which was phenomenal. All three of them were in great voice that night. So it was such an honor, even as a child, to appear alongside him on TV. And I do have an old VHS tape of it somewhere. And yeah, so I was really, really pleased with that. And oh yeah, the previous year, A Song for Christmas was held every year, of course. And they told us that the previous year it had been won by a young man called Gary Barlow, who I'd never heard of. And in fact, a lot of my classmates had never heard of him being kind of young classical musicians. But of course, Take That had become big that year we went up. So he won it the year before. He became famous for Take That. And we won it that following year. Or I should say, Joint won it with someone else whose song was very, very good. But yes, we joint won that, and that was great fun. And it was a great experience. I really enjoyed that. Really interesting. Um, and here's a quick story from the Royal College of Music. Of course, when I left Purcell, I then went on to Royal College. A lot of us from Purcell were expected to go on to the great music colleges, and I had already got into Royal College as a Prince Consort Scholar, in fact, before I even left Purcell School. This isn't one I'm particularly proud of, but it is sort of bonkers nonetheless. And it concerns a masterclass with Michael Finnessy. Now, of course, masterclasses work when a great performer comes in and you perform to them, and then they give you pointers on the piece and how to make it better and how to improve your performance, and general tips on musicianship. This, as a composer, was a little different. Michael Finnessy, of course, you can't perform your own composition and then get feedback on it, especially not if it's with orchestra. But I seem to remember we did perform a piano and violin piece I'd written, which I will at some point record on YouTube for you because it's not a bad piece. But anyway, and other people performed their pieces, and some people played CDs of their orchestral pieces. And Michael Finnessy sat, and a great composer, by the way, and a fantastic pianist, amazing pianist. But he sort of listened to each one and then sat in front of all of us and deconstructed them. And let's just say I wasn't in a very good mood that day. And I particularly loved quite a few of the guys who were my fellow composers. like Luke Bedford and Ben Foskett, who've both, of course, gone on to have proms commissions and good careers in film music and such like. So I, of course, am W. Williams, quite near the end. So he'd gone through all my colleagues' pieces, deconstructing them, and I felt generally insulting them. So I waited until he was halfway through doing that to my piece before I got up loudly and stormed out, slamming the door of the, what was it? It was the recital hall in the Royal College of Music. So I'm not very proud of that. But the bonkers bit about it was that in absentia, I discovered afterwards, when everyone came down to the bar, that after I'd walked out, dear Michael Finnessy had then awarded me the Herbert Howells Prize for Best Chamber Composition of that year, which was rather sweet of him, considering how badly behaved I'd been. But anyway, so that's a couple of bonker stories for today, and see you again tomorrow. Daddy loves you always. Mwah.